All right, let's try this again. All of a sudden, my camera starts going crazy and keeps shutting off. So if it shuts off, it might come back. I'm going to keep talking. So you don't have to look at me necessarily, but if it just stops, then just bear with me, okay? I haven't fired on my cameras and none of my equipment out in about a month, so everything's kind of just, I don't know, warming up. So anyway, I was talking about the weather, how we are the news people, the media, the local media is always jumping the gun when it comes to when it just comes to weather and stuff. They start sending people in a frenzy, and people start going to the local grocery stores and buying everything up. It's hilarious to me because they got these reporters are out. They're planted in Bernie and Kerrville, up in New Braunfels by Buc-ee's. It's insane. I just find it very comical. I just wanted to catch up with everybody. I hope everybody's doing well. I waited for a little bit because, you had everybody out. We got so many podcasts. You got so many shows going on. And I want to get everybody, to get out there and do their stuff. And then I'll come in on the back end and just kind of splice my stuff out there. Hopefully you're doing well. And I'm happy that you're still a subscriber to my channel, because I know sometimes I'll go silent. And it's because normally I'm into another project or I'm just getting into something else. But I wanted to talk about the plans for this podcast. I wanted to talk about plans about this podcast and how it is going to be moving forward, because lots of times I get in here and I do research on certain topics, and I start I need to go back to the way I would put together a radio show, okay? Because free-forming it, I don't know if people are not into that. People want to know what's going on right now, right? People want to know what's happening right now, and people want to be informed, entertained, all of the above, and I get that, right? So that's what I'm going to strive for in 2025, is be better and try to take this podcast to the next level. I really tried to when I started it, and I guess I thought that everything would fall in place, and it didn't, because I tried to get a co-host. That didn't happen. That didn't work. There were so many things I wanted to do, and it just didn't pan out for me. And I felt like, okay, should I still keep doing this podcast? I kept asking myself, should I do this or not? And I was just questioning myself, and that's just a lot of waste of time. You overthink things, right? And it kind of destroys everything, your overall plan, right? And that's where I was. And moving forward, I think I'm going to structure the way I move forward with this podcast and kind of treat it like a show, like I did every day when I would come in and produce radio shows and put together a show. I'm going to start and do some local stuff. I'm going to do some stories on stuff that you're not really hearing about. And you can get your news source from anywhere on the internet or wherever you get your news source, right? But you got to put your spin on it. I know in San Antonio, the big topic here right now is the weather, right? It's raining and there's nothing. They got people planted all over the city and over in Kerrville and in Bernie. That's the huge story, I think. And then you have the San Antonio Spurs, who want a new arena, okay? Which they have a nice facility out on the east side of San Antonio. It's perfectly fine. I feel that just because you got Wembanyama in San Antonio, that you deserve to go and get whatever you want because he is here. No. I'm sorry. You can't fix something that you guys screwed up on in the beginning. Do any of you remember the Hemisphere Arena? That was already set there. I think we need to go back and rehash all that, because I think that's where it starts. I think that's where it starts. And now you want to make a wrong back into a right. And then you want to dig into our pockets and say, hey, well, we want to get a new arena because we're going to have a great team and a great future. And I get it. I get that. But you're saying that to a fan who's been following this team forever. I thought the Spurs would never win a championship in San Antonio. Back in the day, like I've said before, I was happy to win a Midwest championship. And most of you are like, Midwest championship? What is that? Yeah. They used to be that, and we were happy to get those hats and the shirts. And, now it's championship or bust in San Antonio. And we have 5. We have 5 chips, okay? So do you think I'm worried about getting a new arena to impress the new brass of the San Antonio Spurs? No. I don't care what they think. I don't care if they don't want to drive into the east side no more. We want to go into downtown. For whatever reason, that they're saying this stuff, and whatever is going on, I don't like it. And that's the new thing about this podcast that I'm going to be doing, is I'm going to speak my mind on a lot of things. I held back a lot because I didn't want to talk about politics. I didn't want to talk about certain things. I didn't want to say certain things the way my opinion on it, because people nowadays just get really offended and you get attacked and all this cancel crap and just everything that goes with it. If you say something, if you're not on one side of the topic, then you're actually done. Your opinion doesn't matter. And that's fine. That's fine. If that's where we're going to play the game, then that's the way we're going to play. Those are the rules. Okay, let's do it. Let's change it up. I'm fine with it. But I'm not going to hold back anymore. Before, it was like, okay, I'm not going to say this when I was on the radio, because we worked for a corporate America, right? I mean, you can't say certain things. You got to protect your job. Well, now I don't have that. I don't have anybody that when I walk out of this studio here, my homemade studio, that I have to answer to. Hey, why did you say that? No, you got to be able to kiss up to the Spurs because you won't get a credential and all. Screw that. I don't care. I don't do anything for the Spurs. I don't have any affiliation with the Spurs or the city of San Antonio. Yeah, yes, I'm a taxpayer, and that matters to me, and it should matter to you. And I'm glad that people, we need to step up. And the city manager now, I when I read about him getting another raise, I'm like, for what? For what? What, dude? What did you go from like 600,000 to 800,000 for doing what? For doing what? And I'm not probably on point with whatever I'm saying about his salary. It doesn't matter. Ballpark, it is what it is, right? The guy makes way much more than you and myself. So that's the thing that's going to change about this podcast is I'm going to come out and I'm going to start blasting people left and right. And it's not going to matter anymore on how I feel or how you're going to feel about it. And if you're going to watch this podcast or not, then maybe it's not for you. There's plenty of choices, and I get it. It's okay. You're not going to hurt my feelings. Believe me, you're not going to hurt my feelings. I'm fine with it. Because now, like I said, nowadays, you say anything about Donald Trump, or you say anything about Kamala Harris, or you say anything about Joe Biden, and if you're not on the right side, then there's people that are going to say, hey, just go on X. Go on X and go on one of the threads about Donald Trump and read what people are saying. If you're against him or if you post something, they're coming after you, man. If you say something about Biden, they're going to come after you. If you're going to say something about anybody in politics, they're going to come after you. Be ready, because they're going to come after you with pitchforks. Okay? And that's cool. this is the game that we want to play now, and I want in. I want in on this. Yes, I'm going to talk about sports. Yes, I'm going to talk about music because I love music. And I'm going to talk about things that matter to me. And hopefully, some of the things that I talk about can generate some kind of banter between us. And that's cool. That's what I want. I want to keep this going. I had a long conversation with my brother up in San Diego last night. And I was telling him, hey, this and that. And I was like, hey, I really don't have somebody to bounce off my ideas and my opinions. Tell me what you think. And my brother is a man of few words. And he came out and said, dude, I've been waiting for you to do this. You need to do this. No matter what, you need to do what makes you happy. And he's totally right. Like it or not, people are going to hate. People are going to have an opinion. People are going to put you down. Excuse me. And that's part of it. That's the part of this game. People see anything that they can kind of pull the string and just mess with you and try to derail what you're doing because you're not thinking the way they are. You're not saying what they want to hear. And they try to make your life miserable. Hey, it's part of the territory, man. And I want to get into sports too as well because I worked in the news media and I worked in the sports media for years. And I was on both sides of the fence. I was very biased about the San Antonio Spurs, the Dallas Cowboys, the Houston Texans, and now being out of the game, meaning out of the sports media and news media for a few years, and not having to take those calls where people are going, blah, 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 telling you off. And in the beginning, I remember I would take things personal. And I always remembered when you go into these things, you cannot take things personal. You have to have tough skin, and you got to be able to take people's comments and be ready because, people are going to say some crazy things. People are going to say crazy things to you. And when you take those things personal and you bring them home, it starts affecting you. So I learned that way in the beginning of my career in radio. So yeah, I feel that it's time to open that up, open that door up and be like, okay, people never saw this side of me. I was always behind the scenes. And, when I started this podcast, I was having fun with my friends, and fun with different things and making fun of things and just playing music, enjoying myself, having beers and drinks and reviewing just different stuff. That's still going to happen. This podcast is going to be about everything, anything and everything. Nothing is going to be off the table. And I said I'm never going to do politics. Well, you know what? I think I want to express myself and my opinion about stuff because it's going to get a lot crazier. And things are really going to get interesting in a few weeks. Okay? In 11 days, things are going to change. So yeah, we do need to be, we need to speak up. We need to pay attention because things are not going to be the way you think they're going to be, right? Most of the time, you're sitting back and going, okay, I know for a fact that things are going to change for the better. And the other side saying, no, it's going to be worse. Well, you know what? At the end of the day, guys and gals, we are one. We are all just one, okay? And people don't like to hear that. They're like, hey, either you're red or blue, or else your opinion doesn't matter. So that's where I'm just explaining everything to you guys on how things are going to happen now. So you're going to hear different things from me. You're like, what the hell is Johnny talking about? Well, it's going to be, the real Johnny coming out and being like real opinionated about a lot of different topics, a lot of different things that are going on locally, in the national media, in the sports world, in the music, just reviewing new music that's coming out, because, man, I think we're suffering when it comes to new music. There's a lot of music coming out, but it's not what I'm used to. I'm still buying vinyl, and I'm listening to a lot of new stuff that I want to share with you guys, but it seems like less and less, right, of something new that I really gravitate to. I kind of find myself going back to a lot of the older stuff and the stuff that's been out there, because there's really nothing. I mean, they reissued Dr. Feelgood not too long ago. They reissue a bunch of different bands will come out and re-release an album on vinyl or remaster it, but they got nothing new. So, yeah, I'm going to do a lot of that. So be ready. Come with your comments. Come with your questions. I want you guys to participate more. I want to bring on people, and I want to I always said, I don't want to have an interview. I don't want to interview anybody, because that's not why I want to bring you on. I want to bring you on and have a conversation, to catch up with you, and I want to bring on to kind of pass on information. If there's anything that I can do to help and to make things better, to clarify things for us in a certain topic, then I want to be your man. I want to be that person that you can rely on when it comes to these things that we deal with on an everyday basis, from local to national to music to concerts. I got a lot of things going on in 2025. My April is going to change. I got big news for you guys. Huge news for you guys. You guys are going to be shocked. I got some huge, big news that's coming in April, early April. So be ready. Mark it in your calendar. Big news coming for me, Johnny. And I'm happy, because for me, it's something that I never thought would happen in my life, and it has. So, I can't wait to share the news with you guys, and just start the new era, the new 2025, right? When we're kind of just we are. 2024 was rough. I don't know about you guys. I've been listening to a lot of different podcasts, listening to a lot of different radio shows, again, in sports, in news, and there's a lot of movement. A lot of people moving around from radio. Radio is, I don't know if it's just me or you, but if you notice that radio is slowly fading away. Everybody's they're doing podcasts. It's hilarious, because I listened to Howard Stern, and he was so angry the other morning because he said he went to a party. And at this party, everybody was saying, hey, you want to be on my radio show? And you want to do my podcast? And you want to be on my radio show? All these people. And he was so upset, saying, when did you get a radio show? I've been doing this shit for so long. How in the hell? And he's upset because of the Hawk Tui young lady who, her video went viral. And we all know, you know what I'm talking about, the Hawk Tui girl. And he's just upset that she's getting a huge paycheck for something that just went viral. I'm not going to hate on that, because I'm part of that class. I want in. I want some of the pie, because it seems like I've always wondered. It's crazy how when I started doing this, I was just doing a small little operation. This was years ago, and it was a different location. It was a not such a nice setup that I had. It was very, very just a small operation with a webcam and a few friends, and it was just bad. It was worse than than a lot of stuff that I see now. But the thing that my brother and I were discussing last night is like, dude, there's people out there that do not have not even a microphone in front of them. They have a phone, and that's all they're doing. They are just blabbing away, and they are pulling some huge numbers. Why? Because they got a passion and they're determined. And I just felt that everything would just fall in line for me. And it didn't. It humbled me a lot. It really did. Because you would think, being a part of the media for so long in San Antonio, my hometown, that people would just like gravitate or want to follow or want to see people don't really care. People are following me on social media, but they don't care about, see, I put it on social media. I got 1 or 2 people watching. That's it. And that's cool. I'm fine with it. You're not what, if that's not what you're looking for, if I'm not their cup of tea, that's fine. That's cool. But that's what you're going to get. It's a lot of the everyday stuff. This stuff's going to humble you. You're going to put a lot of work in. I've put a lot of work into some of the stuff I've done in the past 2 or 3 years with thumbnails, editing. I put some cool shit together that I see that it's more effort than a lot of other people put into their podcast. And it just doesn't generate. I mean, there's a few things that I got that had like 6,000 views, some that are 15, some are 20, some are 100, some are 500, some are 400. It's all over the map. And I'm not going to worry about that anymore. I'm not going to worry about if you're going to watch or you care or you want to see something different. I don't care. That's not going to matter to me no more. What matters to me is that I'm going to be able to really open up and be me. Be me, the person that a lot of people, you people don't know. You people know me from what I did before. You people from seeing me on social media. A lot of people don't know me personally. There's a lot of people I have on social media that I don't even know. I don't even know who you are. But you follow me, and for some reason, I got over 1,000 followers. They're not even friends. They're just following and seeing what I'm doing. And it's like, okay, that's kind of weird, because you can request to be a friend or whatever, or follow me on X at Johnny Compion. But a lot of people don't want to be recognized. Like, I don't want people to know that I'm following you. I don't know why. I mean, what is it? It doesn't matter. So I'm going to move on from all that, right? I just want to kind of lay the foundation on how moving forward it's going to be for this podcast. I'm going to go shoot a lot of B-roll, a lot of video. I'm going to go out into this city and go around the places that I used to roam and kind of give you backstories and things that don't even exist anymore in our city that we appreciated, that we loved, and that I loved, that I still think about, things that I went through with my friends. Because the same people that I hung around with years ago, they don't exist in my life anymore. I lost a lot of friends and people that I thought were friends that really weren't, the whole time. And, I think that's good, because I had to shed a lot of skin in order for me to realize that the people that say, I'm your friend, I this and that, it's a bunch of bull, At the end of the day, you really don't need that. All you need is yourself, right? And just kind of follow, your dreams on what you want to do and your achievements. I think everything else kind of slows you down. And that I'm just saying for me. That's what happened to me. And I felt like I shed a lot of skin when it came to people that were around me. And I actually feel better because I don't hear a lot of negativity. I don't hear all the just stupid things that just were a waste of time. A lot of that shit was just a waste of my time. And I learned a lot from that, and from the people who used to be in my life. It's like, you know what? I wish you well, and I hope everything is good in your life, and you get, you follow all your dreams and do. But maybe it's best. This is like a breakup, right? When you're in a relationship for so long, and you're like, you know what? This is not going to work. It's not going to work, man. It's not working for you. It's not working for me. Why are we so miserable? Just break it apart and just move on with your life. And then you start to see the light at the end of the tunnel, and you're like, you know what? Life is better. Damn, I'm not miserable when I wake up. I'm not miserable when I go to sleep. And that's the way I felt. Yeah, it sucked. It sucked losing a lot of friends or people that you thought were friends. But it's also great because it's a new beginning for you, right? It's new, and it's like, okay, I don't have to worry about somebody talking shit about you or somebody saying negative shit about you. And that's what I was running into. A lot of people that wanted to be around me and I thought were friends or family, but all they did was question me, but to others, not me. They would go to other people and start questioning things about me, and they didn't even know me. I never even cared about what was going on in their life. I never was that nosy. I never cared about what went on in somebody's life that I was drinking beer with and just hanging out, like. And then you became the topic, and people talking bad about you, and then some of the stuff wasn't even true. So yeah, you have to kind of just eliminate that, and if you do not eliminate that in your life and move on and move forward, then you're never going to progress in life, I feel. And just having that and that weight off of my back, I feel like I can say anything. I can be myself, and I don't have to answer to anybody anymore. That's it. This is me now. This is who I am, like it or not. I'm going to enjoy doing a lot of different things. I'm going to be a lot better than I was last year. Last year I went through hell. I just was in just bad jobs. Just everything wasn't making me happy. Just a lot of things. And at one point in my life, I was like, what the fuck happened? What happened? What happened? I was on top of the world. I was living the dream. I was doing this, and I had everything that I wanted, and all of a sudden, everything just stopped. And I'm like, okay, what am I going to do now? And I pondered on that, and I thought about it, and I'm like, where are my people to come save me? There was nobody coming to my savior. Nobody. No one. Nope. Everybody just kind of went along with their lives, but they still talk shit about you. Your name came up a lot, but you weren't around. And then you hear it from somebody else. Hey, so-and-so was saying, I got tired of that. Just eliminated everybody. Everybody. Family and friends. Eliminated everybody. And I think that's the best for me. Is just stay away from everyone. Stay away from it. Just be me. This is as close as you're going to get to me. Okay? That's it. And it might sound funny or stupid, but that's where I'm putting my guard up, man. I feel that doing that just makes me feel better. I don't care if you're saying, dude, just lighten up. It's no. No, you can't say that until you walk in somebody's shoes, right? And that's the power of this microphone and the internet and everything that I got set up here is that I could do whatever I want. This is my domain, and I can broadcast to the free world. And I never realized that. I thought I could only do that when I went on a 50,000 watt radio station and was running the blowtorch of South Texas on WOAI radio. That was fun. That was a lot of fun. I'm not gonna lie to you. That was a lot of fun, and I wish I was still doing that. But that's a dying art. That's gone away. Was it a month ago? I saw the news that a big radio company here let go of a lot of good people, okay? And these people had been at this radio station for multiple years. A lot of people that I knew and still know up to this day, okay? And I've said this before. I felt so bad for a lot of my personal friends and radio colleagues that happened to them. They were there so long that they never got out of that box. It's like you're stuck in in a time warp. And I'm so glad that what happened to me happened when it did. Thanks to, I'm not going to mention his name, but to one of the PDs that was working at that radio station who he didn't like me at all from the beginning. And one day I'm going to get into that. As I said, this is going to be a different podcast. So yes, I'm going to do that one day where I'm going to call out names and call the people out for who they were. They were just scumbags. A lot of favoritism, a lot of hatred. It was bad. And I was a casualty to that, right? Everything was fine when you had somebody in the leadership role that knew people that just wanted to work and showcase their talents and skills. And they didn't go in there going, okay, so I got to be a certain way and act a certain way when I'm around you, or else I'm nobody. Okay? That's what happened to me. But I'm glad it did. So it's a love-hate, because if that wouldn't have happened, then I wouldn't have ever been a part of ESPN 1250 The Zone. That right there fell in my lap. And I was so grateful, because that just opened up more doors for me. And I got to see and do a lot of things and met a lot of great people and still have a lot of good friends. But I'm glad that I didn't stay in that box like the people that were a part of this cluster for multiple years and then got cut and thrown out the door like it didn't matter. And they're kind of like, I thought I meant more to you than this. Nope, unfortunately not. That's the way it is. Corporate America. So yeah, just I mean, I think about all those things. I think about what if this wouldn't happen or that wouldn't happen. And I'm just glad that you know, the road that I took that was, you know, put in front of me, that I took advantage of the situations that were put in front of me. Because I learned a lot. I did a lot. So now I need to put that all into motion. And I'm here today on January 9th, 2025, to say that, hey, man, I survived it, and I'm ready to do more. I'm ready to do more. I'm ready to open up the doors now and let the air out. Let it air out and see what's been in here. What has been in here, and showcase the real me, right? I want you to get to know the real me. And I want to be a part of your everyday life where, you know, you see these local officials here in San Antonio who work for us in the city that need to be called out for some of the things that are going on in this community, right? I'm going to be that guy. I'm going to call them out by name, and I'll even go down and see if I can talk to some of these people and ask them questions, right? Ask the questions. Why don't we have more music venues? Why don't we have this? Why does Austin have more than us? Why does it seem like, you know, we're way behind? Excuse me. Those are the things that I want to try to do for you guys. Not just for me. So, yeah, be ready because, you know, things are going to change, man. Things are going to change for the best. Like I said, it doesn't matter if I gain or lose subscribers anymore to me. I don't care if I'm monetized. I don't care if you report me, if I say something that's out of line. I don't care no more. It doesn't matter. I'm going to be who I am. If I see something, I'm going to call it out. If you're part of it and your name gets called, then, oh, too bad. Too bad. Then, you know what? Then come prove me wrong. Okay? You know where I'm at. Hit me up and let's hash it out. Or, you know what? Just whatever. Doesn't matter. Yeah. Also, I want to send just all the love I can to people in the West Coast who are suffering from these fires. My goodness. You've lost communities of people. As you see on my screen there behind me, I have KCAL live. They're reporting live.
Our CBS News Confirmed team used census data to give us an exact idea of how many people are under those evacuation orders for all of them. And this is 330.
And this is live right now in KCAL in Los Angeles.
Are under either a voluntary or mandatory.
Because it's still going on, guys.
Confirmed, who use census data and mapping data to really give us an idea of that. 191,811 people we believe are under mandatory evacuations, and additional 139,524 are under voluntary evacuations. I want to put that into perspective for you. If you've ever been to SoFi Stadium or ever even really seen SoFi Stadium, that is enough to fill the SoFi Stadium at least 3 times worth of people that are under evacuation orders. We talked about Monday Night Football, speaking of SoFi Stadium, is being moved from SoFi to Arizona because of the concerns over the weather conditions and just everything that is going on here in Southern California. So you look at that 331,000 people roughly under an evacuation order of some sort here in Southern California, and that is enough to fill nearly 3 SoFi stadiums worth of people. So really puts it in perspective for you how many of our neighbors, how many of our community members are dealing with this evacuation order across Southern California. And again, the newer ones that we've been talking about in the Hidden Hills.
See, and that right there just brings reality to what's going on. The United States of America, right? We saw what happened in New Orleans. We saw what happened in Las Vegas, right? The New Year. So sad. It's very sad to see this stuff, but it happens, right? It happens every day. And we feel like, okay, we're in the United States, everything's going to be fine. And look what happens in New Orleans. I love New Orleans. I love that region. I was there for the Super Bowl, and it's just horrible how it's horrible how you get some lunatic that decides to, change the world and be like, you know what, we're going to do things this way, and that's all that matters, right? And the thing that bothered me the most from that was when people were posting video on X and you saw the mangled bodies on Bourbon Street. Okay? That really bothered me. That really got to me. It hurt me because I knew that there was an image there of a lady who was laying there. Her body was all contorted, and some young lady, I think it was her stepdaughter or her daughter, that was standing right by the body, and somebody's just filming. That really disgusted me. Okay? I was disgusted by that. That's unacceptable, people. You cannot be that way. You can't do that, okay? Because if that was somebody in your family, you wouldn't want that, okay? You wouldn't want that. So there's boundaries, okay? There's boundaries that you can't cross when it comes to social media. It's like you see that stuff and it's horrible. It's sad. And it just makes me, I'm kind of like getting choked up because just everything that I saw on social media just killed me, man. It was a bad look for us. But we got to be better with each other, man. This isn't going to be a feel-good podcast. That's just my opinion on that. I mean, there's boundaries when it comes to social media. When social media is there for you, you do not use it to show dead bodies or to show somebody's loved one mangled up on the street. I mean, come on, right? Yeah, I didn't like that. It was horrible. I didn't like that. It was horrible. I'm having trouble with my camera. I'm going to end this live stream right now. I'm going to shoot some stuff. I'll be back. Thanks for listening, man. Thank you so much for listening to me. I appreciate you guys. This goes out to everyone out in the United States, especially California. This goes out to you guys.